Hey, welcome back, guys. Today I'm going to talk to you about basic techniques versus advanced techniques. Not what most people think. At least not within the traditional styles. I don't know if this might apply to your competitive styles, because I'm not that familiar with them and how they train. But definitely your traditional styles, because the traditional styles tend to have within them some more complicated, fancy stuff. Because a lot of the time those complicated techniques are for different reasons. They're not actually used for combat. They're used for a host of other various reasons. They're more like training methods rather than something you would actually use to fight with. What I wanted to say is, what's the difference between a basic technique, something that a beginner should be learning, versus an advanced technique? Okay, something you should be learning. Both techniques work in a real life situation, competitive or self-defense, but one is easy to do and one is difficult to do. Let's say, for example, I'm just going to use two techniques that are sort of similar, but one's from an open side situation, the other's from a closed side. So I'll bring Fran in a moment to show you, to demonstrate properly, but just for now, just imagine someone's coming with some kind of a swinging punch to the side, or they're coming with a straight punch to my nose. Pretty easy to do, right? So let's say there's a punch coming here to the side of my head. Okay, let's say I step into it, I stop it, whichever way I want, and I deliver some kind of a strike with my right hand. That could be to the throat, the eyes, the nose, wherever. It doesn't really matter. That's pretty simple, right? So you're there ready, something's coming to the side of your face, you step into it to stop it and deliver a strike. It's pretty simple to do. My body only has to move one direction. Boom. It just has to step in a little bit and turn to my left. That left turn gives me my block. The left turn also gives me my strike. The step makes me barge in, cutting his timing. It's fairly easy to do. It's not the most basic, but it's fairly easy to get, especially if the other guy is not very well trained, which is what will happen in most street scenarios. Okay, versus he's throwing a straight punch now. And I'm going to move to the side, let the punch go over my right shoulder. I'm going to tap it with my left palm, making sure that it doesn't go in my face. And then I'm going to deliver a follow-up, okay, a counter. Now, looking at that movement, that looks very simple as well, doesn't it? Right? All I've got to do, okay, there's two turns. 1, 2. There's a very small turn to start, just to give my parry there. Boom. And then there's my follow-up technique. So most beginners would pick that up, take a step, take a little parry, bang, punch him into the liver or something. Okay? It's not that difficult. So is that also a basic technique? No. That's a very, very advanced technique. Okay? So this one, bang, basic to medium. This one, bang, very, very advanced technique. I'll show you why with Fran. Okay, so just demonstrating those two, a more basic app and a more advanced app. So she might be throwing some kind of a round punch to the side of my head, something to that effect. So I'm stopping that, I'm covering that in some way, and bang, and attacking something there. That type of technique. Versus she throws a straight punch, and maybe drop a punch in there, for example. Or same, I might take it there and put it over the top. Either way, it's the same technique. Now, I'm going to get Fran to do something like that now. I'm going to throw a rounded punch, this type of a punch, okay? Just stop it in there with your right, that hand. But step in and deliver a strike with your other hand. Now, sure, I might still be able to cover that, but if she aims at this side of my head rather than straight to my center, if she aims more at the side of my neck or the side of my jaw, because I'm opening my body up, you see, in that moment, it's pretty difficult for me to cover with that hand. I can do it, but it requires a high level of skill from me to be able to do that, okay? So you can see the natural opening of my body that happens, it gives her a space to strike to. Plus, this hand can't come back super fast because it's stuck out there. So it's a pretty simple movement to do. However, with the straight punch variation, I'm just going to put this on in case I bop Fran in the face. Okay, so you're just going to parry it with that hand. and then let's just put it down, just put a low punch down here, like so, okay? Just rather than punching me in the jaw. So bang, bang, okay? So that's pretty easy, right? Yeah, boom, boom. So if Fran's not a total beginner, but if she were, most people would be able to do that pretty easily, okay? But that's because I'm not putting her under pressure, okay? So she's feeling fine. Now I'm going to throw the punch. I'm just simply going to throw the punch faster, okay? And I'm still not throwing that fast. See that? She's not able to land that punch before I get my elbow back. So all I have to be able to do is that. As long as I don't punch like that, as long as I know at least enough to bring my elbow back after I punch, it's now impossible for her to deliver that. You try and do your move as fast as you can. We'll see how fast I can, how slow I can do my move. So you try to do that technique as quick as you can. Hit me there, well actually you can hit me hard, it doesn't matter, just so that we know whether you got me or not. So even at that speed, I'm still kind of, I'm almost, you're sort of half getting me there, but even at that speed, she's not able to do it. So she has to be so fast, and the main difference is, you'll notice that when I'm moving my arm, she's not moving until my arm's halfway through because she's reacting. So naturally, if she's reacting, my arm's going to be already halfway through the move by the time she actually starts moving. Because there's got to be that, oh, there's something coming. So the only way she'd be able to pull that off would be to know the punch is coming. She's got to have such good reading skills. This is why it's an advanced technique. It requires reading skills to be able to go, we'll do it just slow motion now to demonstrate. She has to be able to go, as soon as I move, start moving. Bang, and then that's already coming through, you see? The other thing she has to have is not too much of this. You've essentially got to just go, bang, bang. See, there's a little bit of movement there. It's not just punch, but the movement's so refined, again, just doing that slowly, bang. See, look, even there, when you're touching my hand, your punching hand is still back here. You need to think punch. Don't think block and punch, think punch. Punch me. Punch, that's better, see? Punch me, bang. So that's now a better technique. She's doing it more correctly now, but still, I'm going to have my elbow back unless she gets her speed is going to have to be, her speed's going to have to be so quick in order to do that. So very advanced technique versus if I'm coming in with the round punch, you see, it's a little more open. It's a little more easy. Plus, her movement, bang, is one direction. She doesn't have to sort of parry that way and then go the other way. So you can see there, the round punch also doesn't require any evasion. With the straight punch, she's got to get her head out of the way. She's got to move her head offline. That's difficult enough in itself. Whereas the round punch, all she has to do is put her arm in the way. So it's simpler. So that's just to give you an idea of what's happening there. So whether something's basic or advanced doesn't mean how difficult it is to do the technique. If I know what strike is coming at me and we're doing it in sort of a slower training environment, a beginner's going to think, yeah, that's easy, block, strike, yeah, no problem. Block, strike, they're probably going to feel more or less the same level of difficulty for a beginner learning. When you're only throwing the punches, you know, at this sort of speed, they'll feel like they're quite similar. But when you push that pressure up to maximum speed and force, and that's just maximum speed force in a training situation, that goes through the roof, of course, in a real situation, whether it be competitive or self-defense. But that's when you start to notice the differences between the basic and the advanced technique. This technique, it's much easier to pull off from a point of timing. Whereas as you saw with Fran there, this technique, my timing has to be so perfect to be able to pull that off. I've essentially got to punch her as soon as she moves to be able to pull that off. If I'm even slightly delayed, there's a little bit too much of a linger here before the punch comes in, which is going to happen, because I'm getting caught off guard. I'm like, oh, I don't know which hand he's going to throw. He's going to throw a hook or a straight or a cross. What's he going to do? As it comes in, you've gone, oh shit! While you've gone, oh shit, it's a little bit lagging before the punch comes through. So essentially, the only way you could use that technique would be if you are 100% confident. You know exactly what he's going to do, not because you know he's told you what he's going to do, but you know how to read strikes. So you're standing there and you feel within yourself confident. That's a really good tell for yourself what techniques you should be using when you're training with someone or in a real life situation. If you feel in the training session, we'll just stick to training for now because that's what most of us do. Most of us haven't been in a real life street fight or something. If you're standing there with your partner and while you're training, you're feeling like, oh, shit, you don't really know what's happening, you keep getting hits and this kind of thing, you want to revert back to the most basic thing you know, okay? Which is usually just protecting yourself and then wait for an opening. Because even just the simple concept of blocking and striking at the same time, that's way more difficult than just covering, just blocking. Stopping yourself from getting hit is far easier than doing that and trying to land a punch all at once, okay? So if you feel really, really under pressure, like you're panicking and you're a bit, don't know what's going to happen, revert to the most simple thing you know. If you feel confident and strong, I can take this bloke, then maybe it's okay to try those more difficult timing techniques. But you need to go through your own repertoire of what you know and figure out for yourself which of these techniques do I know are basic and which ones are more advanced. The simple way to know is have someone put some gloves on and just try and hit you. If they just come swinging hard and fast at you, you'll get a pretty good idea quite soon as to which of those techniques work for you under that heavy pressure and which of them need a lot more training to be able to do. So that's all I wanted to say for today. Thank you very much, guys. See you soon.